Hey, good morning, and it's a rainy morning here in Walla Walla. And as you can see, I'm rained out from shining up that old axe to lathe. But a little weather ain't gonna stop an old guy like me. Got some stuff to do inside, so let's get on that, okay? Hey, I am glad you could come and join me this morning. And what I got going, I think I can, well, I better show you. I've got this 8-inch three-jaw chuck. I'm going to set you down right there. And I'm going to put this like this. It's pretty heavy. I'll just drop it in this box, kind of. Something like that. Okay. I'll get you up here. And let me get you. Everything's so slow. Okay, make sure you can see it. Okay, you can see that. All right, I'm going to take the jaws out of it. We're going to inspect this chuck. So I'll start winding the jaws out. And I've already got the screws out of it. And you should take your chucks apart every now and then and clean them. And I cut a lot of cast iron and bronze and stuff, and it gets that powder in them, you know. So you want to do it. Let's see if I can get these out of here. I didn't think it'd take this long. This is a direct mount Cushman 8-inch three-jaw chuck, a scroll chuck. And I've got an identical one over here on the Monarch 10EE that's direct mount D13. This one is D16. And as far as I know, this is the smallest D16 chuck you can put on that spindle. Come on out of there. Probably gonna hit the floor. Oh, come on. But these chucks here, like this one, is really common. And they're a little bit weak because they're kind of light. Okay, you see the scroll in there. Okay, I pulled the bolts out. And this one had these special nuts behind because they made it so thin. That they couldn't really thread the body or anything, so I had to take and grind a socket to fit, to fit that. Okay, that didn't take very long, but someone in the past, it looked like they used a punch or something, but it's good to make the right thing. Okay, I'm going to set these jaws pretty much over here. Okay, can you see everything? Yeah, okay, I'm going to pick this up. Now, these small screws in the back, there's 6 of them, and we're going to use the threads to knock the chuck apart. Now, the chuck splits right down the center of the adjusting pinions, and this is the only type of chuck that I rebuilt that's a scroll chuck. The type that loads from the back, I've never rebuilt those. And this is the most common type. This one's a Cushman. This bison splits down the pinions too. Okay, I'm going to screw these in. And 3 places. Uh-oh. Still got to make sure I get all these Allen screws out. Okay. Now, you don't want to bang on those Allen screws because they're too short and you can damage the threads. So let's just knock this apart real easy. Okay. Now get these out if I can, huh? Okay. Now, I took and marked the halves on the chuck too, so I can get it back together. And I did it right here with a 0. And a 0 there, a 0 there, and a 0 here. And here's the master pinion that was marked at the factory right here, this one. So when I put this on the lathe, this pin's going to go into the number 1 hole. It will every time. Now, I refit this back plate to my spindle. Now, let's take this apart. Okay, here's the back part with the pinions. And we're not going to worry too much about that right now. That's not going to be the worst of the problems. Okay. Now, here's the front part of the chuck. This is where all the action is. And this is the scroll. How am I doing here on time? I might have to make a couple videos. I'd like to get this inspection thing down in just one video. That'd be cool. Okay, I'm going to try to push that scroll out. And this scroll in this one is really pretty good. This is a chuck I bought on eBay. Just kind of tap it down a little bit. Let's see if I can lift it off there. There we go. Okay, here's the scroll. And these are always hardened steel. And people will say that they wear, oh, the scroll's worn out and all that. But that's, I really haven't found that the case. And I've probably rebuilt maybe 25 scroll chucks. And I'll explain my background in scroll chuck rebuilding. Okay. So the back part of the scroll, that's where the pinions are, see? And when you adjust a pinion, I hope you're in there. Yeah, you can see it. It's a gear, right? And it pushes the scroll out. So there's 3 pinions. And if a chuck only has 1 pinion, like this one, this is the 6-inch buck. I've rebuilt this one. It's only got 1 pinion. Okay. So on a chuck like that, you're going to find with that thrust from that pinion that it's going to start pushing on the face here. This is the thrust face for the face of the pinion. And you're going to find at your master pinion or your single pinion that the chuck is going to wear more. And this chuck here, I haven't rebuilt it. I've inspected it. It looks fairly good. It actually looks good. But if you look at it, maybe this side's a little bit more worn. I don't know if I get it in the picture. I don't know. I don't know how they treated using the master pinion. But okay. So what happens is the force of the pinions here push the scroll forward and wears on the thrust pad here, okay? And while it's doing that, it's also tilting, okay? Tilting and buggering up the main bearing surface here by tilting, okay? That right there is the main bearing surface. So, one of the interesting things about these chucks, how am I doing on time here? Oh, I'm really cooking it up. One of the interesting things about these chucks is a lot of you know, if you got a really good chuck, you can even get it to repeat better than 1/1000. But you got to have at least 2/1000 play or clearance on that pivot. And also, you got to have a minimum for a chuck to be like new is 2 thousandths in play on that scroll. And you can, so if you got too much of it, then you got to put this front part in the lathe. Oh, get it out of there again. This chuck's pretty good. The stuff sticks in it. The scroll sticks. Usually they fall out. Okay, but I found on an 8-inch chuck, once you get past 3 thousandths on that clearance, on the center bearing, the chuck's going to start repeating pretty badly. And about that time, it's got wear on these thrust faces from there, okay? So what you do is you look at it like just a mechanical thing, and you take up the wear on these things. And it takes me 8 hours to do one. And I'll get back and continue this. Okay.